Hello. Today I would like to give an update on my Manaforged Widowhail build. I have not given an update on this build in a month, as it was my league starter in 3.21, but I have made a little bit of improvements to it, as the only complaint that I've received on this build is that it is not tanky enough. And even though these changes have made the build more tanky, I wouldn't classify this build as a tanky character necessarily, although it is tanky enough to do all content in the game, including Ubers, fairly smoothly. So there are two changes that I made. One change is fairly inexpensive, and that is I actually cut off the top half of the tree so that I could pick up a second 12 passive large cluster, and I did this to free up some passive points, which dropped our intellect and our lightning ailment effect a bit, but we pick up a ton more life and some physical mitigation, as since we're now using two large clusters, we get two additional jewel sockets, which we are using for conviction of power, which is giving us 4 minimum endurance charges and 4 minimum power charges. And as you can see from this comparison, going from a single cluster to a double cluster is giving us roughly 20% more tankiness overall, with our phys mitigation increasing by over 30%. Although it is at the cost of some damage. But on net, the tankiness that we receive is greater than the damage that we lose. Now, the second change is a more expensive option, and that is there is a mirrorable belt on the market called the Golem Harness that is better for tankiness than a Cyclopean Coil, as this belt allows us to cap our Chaos Resist to 75, and it gives us a decent amount more life, and to top it off, this belt gives a decent amount of more dexterity, which allows us to allocate more passive nodes on the tree to life instead of spell suppression, since our dexterity amount is converted to spell suppression. Thus, while it is expensive, this belt increases our tankiness by roughly another 20%. So going back to the graph, if we compare the single cluster setup to the double cluster plus mirror belt, we are getting close to 40% more tankiness at the cost of 10% damage, which, for those who don't like dying, is a really good trade-off, and especially an extremely good trade-off if you're looking to do a decent amount of Uber content on this build. So that is the update that I wanted to give you. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments, and I'll get to them. Thanks.